Guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to show you how to make a delicious baked stuffed shells recipe that would be wonderful for a Sunday night dinner. It's hearty and delicious, and it's just pure comfort food, especially if you're still dealing with chilly weather. So the first thing you want to do is make the sauce. It does take a little bit of time, about 20 minutes or so, to simmer. It will also simmer when it's in the oven for about 45 minutes. So between the two, it really does bring that acid down of the tomato puree. So we're first going to brown some sausage. So I like this sauce with a little bit of hearty meat to it because I just think it makes the whole thing more filling, but you could also leave the meat out and make it vegetarian. So I have 5 sweet Italian sausage here. You could use 4 if that's how your package comes. I find, depending on the grocery store, it differs if you get 4 in a pack or if you get 5. It's not gonna hurt it either way. You can go 4 or 5. You just want to brown the sausage until it's cooked through, and then you can transfer it to a plate lined with a paper towel. I just use the fat that's in the pan to saute up the vegetables. And you want to add 1 cup of diced white onion, and then we're also going to add 1/2 cup of chopped celery and 1/2 cup of diced carrots. And then you can season your sauce with a little bit of salt and pepper. Now we're ready for the tomato puree. So we are going to add 30 ounces of tomato puree. And then you want to add a can of the crushed tomatoes and then a tablespoon of just tomato paste. And the tomato paste just sort of heightens all those tomato flavors, so I do like to add it. And then you also want to add a tablespoon of Italian seasoning and then 2 garlic cloves. Here we go. Then you want to add back in the sausage. So we're just going to let this simmer for 20 minutes and then we're going to get to work on our filling for our shells. All right, now for the ricotta cheese filling that we're going to use to stuff our shells with. So I have 15 ounces of whole milk ricotta cheese that I'm going to add to my big bowl here. And then you also want to add 1 egg just to bind the mixture, and it prevents it from becoming too runny when it heats up in the oven. And that way it'll stay in your shells, which is what we want. And then you can whisk that up just to combine the egg and the cheese. And then you can also add a little bit of freshly cracked pepper. And we are going to add a 1/2 cup of grated Parmesan cheese for flavor, and then a 1/2 cup of grated mozzarella cheese just for that delicious gooiness. Can never have enough of that. And then a 1/4 cup of finely chopped parsley. And if you don't have parsley, you could also use finely chopped basil. That would be good too. After the filling is done, you could stuff your shells with a spoon, but I find that becomes pretty messy pretty quickly. So I like to put the filling in a pastry bag because the shells are curved, and when you cook them, they get really kind of flopsy-mopsy on you. And if you're trying to like put the filling in with the spoon, it kind of can tear them and fall apart. So what might seem like a little bit extra in the beginning pays off in the process because you're gonna have a much easier time filling the shells if you put the filling in a pastry bag. All right, a couple of tips on the shells. I can fit about 16 of these shells. I probably could stretch it to 18 or 19 if I really smush them in together, but I cook 25 of the shells because of the fact that some of them will tear when they're cooking. So what I would do is before you cook them, go through the package, count out 25 and pick the ones that look more like this, that are already open a bit. They'll just be easier to fill as opposed to ones like, say, this, that are really kind of curved tightly. Then what I do with the leftover shells is I just keep them in my fridge and save a little bit of sauce. And that is just a quick and easy snack for somebody who comes home from school starving. The shells only take a few minutes to cook because you don't want them to be overcooked. Remember, they're gonna also bake in the oven and they'll continue to soften up. Because if you overcook them, they'll be harder to fill as well. So I would just take them to al dente. You'll be good to go. So our tomato sauce smells divine. We are now just going to load it up in our casserole dish. So I do about 2/3 of the sauce in the dish, and then I save the remaining 1/3 to put on top of the shells. Helps to not smush the shells too much because this is a pretty chunky sauce and the shells are pretty delicate. So I just put a little bit so that they're not too dry on top. And then we're of course gonna add all of that delicious cheese. Okay, now for the best part, the mozzarella cheese. So do not be shy with this part because this is the best part. We all know it. Then this is gonna go in the oven covered at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 minutes. And then you can uncover it for about 10 to 15 minutes just to bubble up that cheese. And then when it's done, you can garnish with a little bit of fresh parsley and dig in. I hope you guys give this recipe a try and let me know what you think. And I'll see you back here next time for another delicious recipe. Until then, bye.